Hey everyone, it's Isaac, aka Siphon, here to present my fourth place deck profile. I got top four at the Columbus Regional at the Big Championship with Jemial Luna. This was a last minute deck decision, actually. I was originally playing Jemial solo for the main event, then switched to Jemial Luna for the secondary event. So let's go ahead and get into the profile. So, start off, Jemial Luna. This is a very good meta deck so far. You always have constant card draw with this, so you'll never have a dead hand. And then Luna is just for the black support mostly. The discard is occasionally okay, but for the most part, you just want the black support. We have Standard Towers outside of blue. Going forward, I will have the black one because I did think the extra discard is fine, but I think the higher HP can help you stall out, as well as getting a 3-drop from your discard pile is a little bit better. So this is the tower package. Shard package, standard stuff here. Did have a Chrono shard here. Sorry, Chrono. This is probably I've heard a lot of talk about Jemial, whether it's run Fizzy or Chrono. I think Chrono's always just better because you can just auto get out threat whenever you need to. So we'll start.
Generally, it's better than the Luna Soul Burst.
Oh, I get to discard one card. Oh boy. So getting to the heartbeat of the deck, we have the units. 3 Azure Seer. Easy turn 1 play, one of the best turn ways for any deck right here. You get to look at the top card of your deck, decide, hey, do I want it? Hey, do I not want it? Boom. It's also 1K, so it's normal breaking 2 out of the 5 towers currently. And when paired with this is a deadly combo turn 2 or turn 3 depending. Mostly turn 3. This combo will give you an auto tire break. Mr. Kins basically does the same thing Azure Seer does, except you get to rearrange. So if you want a better top deck, you can do that. But you don't want to send the other card to the bottom. As well as this is a nifty. So if someone tries to target Mr. Kins, you can always exhaust to draw a card, and you can always control your top deck, which is fantastic. Controlling your top deck is super important for this game, and especially blue. One Amateur Witch. This is just for an extra bit of aggression. I want to always start with a 1-drop in my hand, opening hand. And this is the best chance to get it. Now, originally I did have more, but I found out that it just gets a little bit too cluttery sometimes. So we went down to 1. So those are the 1-drops. Okay. Going on to 2-drops. 3 Azure Guardians. This is just defensive play. These are especially good with Luna, because if you swing into like a Yuki and you block, you trade, you get a counter, and they don't break anything. It's also good to play on your curve, as well as if you are up game 1 and you're trying to go to game 2. Prioritizing these are key because you're not really aiming to break towers game 2 because there'll be like 10 minutes or so left. These are big things that it's hard to get past for live decks. So there goes that. Going on to 3-drops. The Wavebender, one of my favorite blue cards. I used to think this card was just trash until I actually played it. You can get into very interesting loops to where you can Wavebender something like you're going with Vengeance, or maybe just anything on your side, just so you can replay it an additional time if it has a very powerful rival effect. As well as enemy units. It's also a 1500, which is another auto tire break, which is very important, and it's just a solid card. 2 Kako. Budget Urgon is my favorite thing for this. And something creative that I discovered over the weekend, because it's something I never thought about, was you can exhaust to control your enemy's top deck. So if you know they have a dead thing in their discard pile that they really don't want to top deck, let's say they Mr. Cancel on their turn so they can draw it again. But you can just exhaust this, put something else on top of their deck. Now they have a worse top deck than they would have wanted. Also 2K, auto tire break, trades well, pretty good. Going on 4-drops, Silverwatch Woman. This actually won me the game on my win and end. I think it's a fantastic card. Going forward, I'm going to up this to 2 because of how good it is. And I don't think I need to explain how good Silverwatch Woman is. If you've read the cards, you understand why it's such a powerful card in this meta. Going on the 5s. 3 Juggernaut. If you're running blue, why not? Just that simple. There's no reason not to run a Juggernaut if you possibly can. A lot of decks like black just cannot get around it unless they combo this with something else. One thing I have figured out is you don't always want to shard drain, especially if it goes back to your hand. Even if it goes to your discard pile, you do have ways to get it back, so don't be scared to not shard drain your Juggernaut. Because if you're shard draining once, twice a turn, it can set you behind. But for the most part, this is probably the most busted blue card I've ever seen. It's just, a lot of decks just don't have answers, unless they just use so many resources, like white. Has to pump, Liam, has to put a bunch of gears, just to kill one card. Powerful. 6-drop, Mayu. You can do interesting plays with Mayu, like grabbing this to Chronostasis, grabbing this to have a Shards of Winter for your next turn. You don't have to play it this turn, or even if you want to play it this turn. This is a good wave bender target to bring it back. Rarely times will you actually ever swing with this, but it's a 3500, so if you ever do need to swing with it, you're killing almost everything. On to the black package. One delayed poison. It's really only good against like Shard Beast and certain golems. I'm not really too nuts about this card as I once was, but it's still a solid card. 2 drops, Yami. The reason I'm only playing one, because if I'm being honest, I didn't have more than one. But if you have 3, you're definitely going to play 3. 100%. And the card that I played because I didn't have that, 2 Debilitating Miasma. This is good if you break a tower and your opponent does out double Yuki. Going in back to your turn, you can just Debilitate Miasma both of them. Now they don't have any Yuki. This is good against people who use like Sola for Guardian, get a plus 2k. And you can just respond by just putting stuff like that out. Solid card. So now my favorite blue card, which I didn't understand the power of this card until this weekend. Soul Transfer. So let's say your opponent has... they're on Mayu on the field, right? You Soul Transfer that. Now you can play anything for your discard pile, 5 or less. So a play I actually did today and at the tournament was I Soul Transferred a Mayu to bring a Watchwoman out, and then went to combat and actually broke a tower in one game. That's actually the exact play I did in my finals match. Not the finals match, my win and end match. 2 Golem of Vengeance.
What are you guys doing?
Golem of Vengeance here. Solid discarding. Really, it's just a destroyer. Sometimes the rip can be good and just knowing what they have. But this isn't a must-put-out card every single game. Going forward, one of these will become a Demon of Levi. And one other black card I might put in is Catastrophe Demon. I don't know the exact spot I'd put it in if I was to break up this current list, but no, who knows. And then finally I had one Argent card, which was, I don't know how to say Mattel. How would we say that? That. So what is interesting about this card is it is a short, which is nice. It can be targeted by unit abilities. So it can't be banished by Iskandar and, stuff like that, which is, it's pretty powerful. But the most exciting thing is if you hold your Soul Burst on Luna, you can do something really cool. And this is what I did during the tournament. My opponent had 5 units on the field, 2 augments. I decided to flip my champion, spread face over, killed 5 units and 2 augments, and then I swung for game. Now, going forward, I do think the Brawler is a little bit better, but for this tournament specifically, I was facing a lot of Liam, a lot of Helena, which this does great against. You can use any of the 8 drops. It just depends which one you want to use personally.
So it's just generally based on what the current meta of the format is.
Right. So going into side deck, I'll start with my aggressive package. I would side in one Sola. I would always turn 1 and turn 2 Soul Burst if I was able to, and gain to the top auto break. So, well, 1 Shard Beast. I could possibly up it, if possible, but it's not always advantageous because you have a lot of 3, 4, 5 drops in your hand. 3 Asamonger. Just pause it real quick. Sorry about that. 3 Acid Mongers. Again, I was facing a lot of Liam, Helena. This is good against them. So, realistically, this isn't of that powerful card. It's just a solid turn 2 play if you have nothing else. And again, breaking augments can be huge. Stuff like green and white, so not the worst. 2 reactive runes. Really good if you just need tempo. So if let's say someone plays out of Yuki, right? At the end of your turn, you can just play this, but bounce it back to their hand. It can make them waste a lot of resources if they are not prepared for active runes. That's why how you sequence your actions around this card is super important. One Force Blast, early removal, none too special. One Statue of the Origin Tower, card draw, and I have a lot of units, especially low cost units, so they're gonna be in the discard pile often. I can just swing them back into my deck. One interesting thing I actually did with this is someone cackled my Asamonger to the top of my deck. So after that, I actually sacrificed this to reshuffle my deck, and I actually ended up getting a better top deck out of it. So you can do some really creative things with this. 2 Tidal Rush. Really only for if I'm up and going into game 2, game 3, just to stall out. Really, that's honestly just about it. Decent removal.
When in doubt, stall them out.
Yeah. 1 Charge of Winter, upping my count to 3. Not the worst, honestly. Like, really, you only need 2. 2 Poisonous Strikes. Again, stall. This game is bad. Everyone just stalls. And finally, 1 Blade Poison. And because I'm the worst content creator ever, we forgot to do our spells. So, we're going to awkwardly transition to spells. 3 Phantasmal Guards. One of the better turn 1 plays that you can do. It gives you 2 blockers, which can stall out, as well as 2 counters for Jemial, which is key. Which that means your next card, which is usually going to be a 1-drop, now you can draw off of it. Especially good if you're up. Playing that turn 1 is deadly. Playing 2 of them within your first 2 turns can be a game changer. 3 ASB. Cheap removal. Has super good interactions with Mayu and the rest of your board. Something I don't see a lot of people do is play down their Ozerseer or Mr. Kins, and at some point ASB their own unit. People don't really ASB their own units unless it's being attacked. I can literally just play Ozerseer, move something to the bottom, play ASB to bounce it and draw a card, play it down again. That's 2 counters plus 2 draws. Like, I don't know how you can ask for more. 3 Mizu, solid. You can draw, exhaust, return something. You always have an option with Mizu, which is why I prefer over Tidal Rush in the main board, is because you can do multiple things with it. You're not just stuck to remove X unit, draw a card. 2 Shards of Winter, good for pushing for late game or stalling out for late game. You guys know what Shards of Winter does. And finally, 2 Chronostasis. This is one good way to get around a big board that your opponent has, is you can just remove the entire board if they're overwhelming you. It is a 6-drop, so it can be kind of tough to play on a lot of instances, but if you have enough mana to use this, or like use it with Mayu, I definitely would. And that's the deck. So overall, the tournament was actually really fun. This is the first time I actually played this deck, and I think I know what changes I would like to make. But I think this deck's really solid. Now going into set 2, I don't really know where the deck stands because aggro is going to be super present. This is more tempo-y. But I do think this has solid meta matchups. I still think it has a decent Hoenn matchup. But Liam and Dragonheart Sola, Sashrain Sola, if people play it, will be an issue. But I definitely think this card has a chance. It's getting a lot of support with the Witches and Phantasmals. So we'll see. Here's my awesome top 8 playmat. Overall fun tournament, and I appreciate you guys watching. Leave a comment down below. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.